Hey, I'm going to show you how you can register Pressbooks as an LTI 1.3 tool in Blackboard. So suppose I'm a Blackboard LMS administrator. I'm going to come to System Admin, and then I will click LTI Tool Providers. We're going to register a new LTI 1.3 Advantage tool. Pressbooks will provide this client ID for you. So I have one here, and I'm going to click Submit. Now, at this point, it's going to provide all the information you'll need to register in Pressbooks, but you'll need to make a few choices. One, you should approve the tool. Second, you should decide to send the course role, name, email address. If you're using our Results for LMS service, turn grade service access on, allow membership service access as well. And those are the settings that you'll need to configure. We're going to need this information here later, but I'm going to click Submit. So you'll notice that we've created a new LTI provider tool that shows up here, and we can then click Edit here to see the values that we'll need. So at this point, we're going to come to the Pressbooks application. At the network level, you'll click Integrations, and you'll click LTI 1.3 Consumers. We're going to make a new one, and we'll call this Test Blackboard. Okay, so the first thing we're going to enter is the platform URL. In this case, it's always going to be https://blackboard.com. The second thing we're going to enter is the client ID value. This will be the value that's provided to you by Pressbooks support staff. The third thing you'll enter is the auth login URL. The auth login URL is always going to be the same, and it comes from Blackboard, and the value can be found in the Pressbooks guide, but it's developer.blackboard.com API v1 gateway OIDC auth. The second thing you'll need to provide is the auth token URL, and that's also something similar. So it's developer.blackboard.com API v1 gateway OAuth2 JWT token. The key set URL is the slightly trickier one, and it's going to look like this. So we're going to enter a value that always looks the same, and we're going to take the client ID and put it in here in between this JWKS JSON. So the string will look like developer.blackboard.com API v1 management applications, and then your client ID, and then jwks.json. Finally, the deployment ID will come here from your tool. This is the deployment ID. When you registered your tool, you get both a client ID and a deployment ID. So here we enter the deployment ID, and then we click Save Changes. At this point, you have successfully registered your Pressbooks tool with Blackboard. This means that Blackboard in here has a tool that has a client ID, deployment ID, all the right values that it needs from Pressbooks. And in Pressbooks, you have also a Blackboard configuration that has all the information it needs from Blackboard.